offense. He was giving them the business. Go back there. Hold on.
This is the 5 Arms and a Lucky Finn podcast.
Welcome to the 5 Arms and a Lucky Finn podcast. I'm your host, Brendan McCormick, with my two wonderful co-hosts, aka Jason Ide, the real Jason Ide, aka Lucky Finn. And I got Big Diesel to my right, David Soloway, aka he is for the people. The people are for him. David, tell us all about Atlanta and the wonderful Peach Bowl.
What an experience, man. I mean, the fact that it was driving distance made this place an absolute parade of red. It was just all red in Atlanta the entire weekend. On the way down, you know, it's a 10.5-hour drive. You got to stop at the Buc-ee's. You just have to. You go into the Buc-ee's, it's all red in there. Insane. A takeover of Buc-ee's. And it was pretty light in the Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's would have been hurting that day if it wasn't for the Hoosiers. So we really propped up the Buc-ee's business there. But yeah, got to Atlanta, went out to eat, watched the Ole Miss Miami game, which we're going to talk about. And then, you know, some beverages were taken down, some Pop Darts were played. I'd like to declare myself and Walter the greatest Pop Darts team of all time.
Okay.
We've never lost one time. So, you know.
Wait, what is this, a game?
It is a game.
Explain.
It's a game. There's a little marker. It's kind of like bocce ball. There's a little marker. You place it on a table. It's a dart. It suctions to the table.
Uh-huh.
And then each team throws 3 darts that also suction. And the closest gets 3 points. For everyone you actually stick on the table, you get another point, and it cancels out, kind of like cornhole.
And it's called Pop-Tart?
Pop Darts.
Oh, Pop Dart.
See, Jason, and this was a constant theme throughout the weekend because I had never heard of this game either. And so every time it got brought up, I was like, I just want some Pop Tarts.
Yeah.
So we went to the store and we got some Pop Tarts. Yeah, we had to get some Pop Tarts.
Who decided y'all were playing this game? Was it Walter?
Yeah, Walter brought some games. He also brought the most confusing card game of all time. So we didn't break that one open.
That sounds very
so
something like Walter
complicated.
would
We
do.
were drunk. Just wasn't happening. Was not in the cards.
Beverages were had. You know,
Beverages were had. That's for sure.
Well, see, that's why I thought you were talking about Pop-Tarts. I was like, dang, when you're drinking, I guess David wants the Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, I did. And we got some and I ate them.
There you go.
What was walk us through before the game though? Obviously you tailgated a little bit before the day of the game. Did you go to breakfast? Like what did we do the day of the game? Break it down. What did we do with the boys?
Yeah. So Thursday night we were up till about 2:30 a.m. So that kind of put a little bit of a damper on the whole Friday morning before the game thing. Luckily the game was a night game, obviously. Right. Riley came through ordering all the boys sausage, egg, and cheese. What are they called? McMuffins. Yeah. With a hash brown. He came through on that. That was great. And then we took the train down to the stadium around noonish, I think. Okay. And we went to Fan Fest, which was in the convention center, which is like right across the street from the stadium downtown. Just an absolute dud of a place, Fan Fest. Just never want to be in that type of environment again. Way too many people, nothing fun about it. Bad experience. Long walk to get there. It was they put it in the furthest convention center room possible just to make you get your steps in that day, of course.
Yeah. Pretty normal.
So yeah, we did that. And then we found that tailgate spot that I sent you guys a picture of right in front of the stadium. Beautiful little grass lot right there. It did rain most of the day, so we kind of didn't stick around there. That, and we didn't bring any booze with us, just because we weren't sure what the scene was going to be like.
Yeah.
So then we went out to a couple bars, and again,
what were they? You remember?
all red. The one we went to, the one we were at for the most part was in the Reverb Hotel, which is a Hard Rock hotel.
Oh.
Yeah, interesting little spot.
Yeah.
Some of the worst service I've ever received, but I don't think Atlanta was ready for the Hoosiers.
Oh.
They weren't ready. And
They-
I've seen this a lot. I've seen a lot of online discourse about this in the past week, that a lot of people struggled with service just because they weren't able to keep up. They were not ready for how Hoosiers come and how Hoosiers drink.
Yeah, we like to, when the Indiana Hoosiers do well, Jason, we like to party. Just like, when the Tigers turn it up, we like to turn it up too. Little corn-fed, monsters over here. So
IU's always been a top 10 party school. So when those people become 30, 40, 50, 70 years old, they still want to drink.
yeah.
There you go.
Gotta keep it flowing. You can't watch Indiana athletics without, a beverage in hand. So
Of course, yeah.
yeah, it's one of the best
Especially
things.
with the nerves.
Guys, let's talk about this performance by the Indiana Hoosiers real quick. Dominating the Oregon Ducks, from the beginning to the finish of the game. David, how loud did that stadium pop when D'Angelo Pons picked it off? How loud was it?
Well, yeah, and what's crazy about that play is it was the first play from scrimmage of the game, but the kickoff right before that was a little short of the end zone. Oregon runs it out, and the guy gets absolutely popped by Byron Baldwin. And just us coming on defense first, it was probably 90 to 95% IU fans in the stadium, which is insane to say, but I'm not even exaggerating. It legitimately was. There was barely any green. Did see a couple Georgia Tech fans, Western Kentucky guy, kind of random. Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, hey, if you're in Atlanta and you want to go to the Peach Bowl, you might as well go,
Yeah, I mean, Georgia Tech's in Atlanta, so.
Yeah, that one makes sense.
Fair.
The Western Kentucky guy, a little bit different story.
I mean, the Hilltoppers, man, they must travel pretty well, I guess.
Yeah, they must. One guy out of 72,000.
Or at least him. Yeah, at least that guy.
But there was a pop after that. There was a pop after that kickoff, and then as the defense comes on, it's like you're at a home game in a big fourth quarter drive where your crowd has to get loud. It was like that from that first drive. So it was already at an elevated volume level, and then that happens, and just absolute pandemonium. I'm getting chills talking about it right now. I've watched this play probably 200 times. It is a moment that will be seared into my brain for the rest of my life. It's a top one moment of my life, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, no, I know it is,
because I've had some moments.
Yeah, no,
I
I mean,
3
obviously,
kids.
yeah, I was like, you have
great.
kids, you're married. I was like,
hey, that's longer than a moment, though. I've got them for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
that moment, there will never be anything like that again. It was incredible, and I want to relive it over and over because the joy in my body during that moment will never be matched again.
What a moment, man. I was so happy, when it first happened, it's a lot to take in. But I mean, it was so loud even on the TV. And then I'm like, David's there, and I'm like, this has got to be insanity of how loud it is. And then, obviously after the game, it gets played a lot, and then you hear how loud the crowd was, and I was like, I can only imagine being there. So, man, dude,
I wish I had a video just to recapture it. But I'm also so glad that I don't have a video because I was there. The four of us were hugging, jumping up and down, screaming. After that, we all lost our voices. It hurt to scream the rest of the game. It was that big of a pop just from that play. Absolute scenes.
Yes, absolutely, man. Shoot, dude. What an experience being there, I bet. Obviously, Fernando does his thing to Charlie Becker, obviously going down the field as well. Just a lot of plays, both sides. Dante Moore fumbles the ball against his own lineman. I mean, the defense, David. This defense, we've talked about it all season. With this defense. Jason's mentioned it as well. It's just another level. It's another level of what this Indiana team is able to do right now. They're on another gear. and the performance that they played against the Ducks and how loud that crowd was. I mean, Hoosier Nation is backing this team. We're going all in on this football program. We got Cuban money now. Cuban money was not available last season. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, viewers and listeners, it was not available last season. It is available now. And he said we will be much more happier this season. That's what Mark Cuban said. So
Cuban money and a Cuban quarterback. Think about that.
that's dangerous. That's dangerous right there. I see what you're drawing up. But I mean, there were a couple banged up plays from Indiana players. David, is there anyone out that we know of for the championship game from the semifinal game?
Sig said everybody who played in the semis is playing in the Natty. So it sounds like Kamaro's obviously the big one. He went down twice.
Yes.
But it sounds like he's going to be good.
Okay. You know,
David,
David,
to go off your point about the defense.
Yeah.
The defense obviously has been incredible down the stretch just in general. I mean, if you look at the last 3 games, Ohio State, Alabama, Oregon, all offenses that were near the top of the sport this year.
Yeah.
Now, we know that all 3 of those offenses have holes in them. So it's not – I'm not saying that we're keeping down 2019 LSU offense here, obviously.
Yeah, it's different. That offense is different.
Right,
2019 LSU offense. Don't get me down that train.
We're not doing that. That's not what I was trying to do here.
We're not going down that train.
We're not doing it today.
We don't need to do that. But
No.
they've really held 3 of the best offenses in the country in check in these past 3 games. And not even just in check, they've dominated them. And, you know, going through the Big Ten season, it's hard to tell because you don't really know how good these teams are because they do beat up on each other so much. But now you've really seen this defense against some of the best talent in the nation, and they've come to play. We've lost multiple D linemen throughout the year, and we're down to our 3rd string. He comes up with 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and a blocked punt in this game. It's just the next man up mentality and their togetherness has been incredible to watch. And honestly, Miami is the worst offense they're going to play in the past month and a half. And so we'll obviously get to that game, but I feel pretty good about it.
Jason, there's a team that you've been heavy on this whole playoff. And I got to give you your flowers. It's the U.
Oh,
the U.
You. Yes.
You've been riding this team, and it has come to a point, Jason, where they have come up against your former roommates' best team. And, you know, me and David's favorite team, not best team. Take that back.
It is our best team. It is this.
It is the best team.
Is this a time where you join the Hoosiers, or are we going against the Hoosiers, Jason? Are we turning tides?
If we're jumping to that game, the national championship, let me just tell you this. Based off of everything I've seen up to this point, there's nobody that's beating this Indiana Hoosier team. Here's why. Miami's offense has struggled at times, like David was mentioning. Their defense has carried them. But I will say this. Indiana's offensive line is going to be the reason Indiana Hoosiers win this game next week. They are going to pick up those guys who are just edge rushing out of their minds. The center is going to be calling it out, making sure that they got everybody covered, and they're going to allow Mendoza to throw the ball. I think this is going to be a tough night for Miami just because their offense has played off of the defense. And if the offense of Indiana is firing and you're expecting Carson Beck to throw for 350 yards on this Indiana defense, you're already going down a rabbit hole of a lot of holes and a possible tunnel, like of just going down the wrong path for the Miami offense. So they need to come out. If they want to have a chance, they have to get stops early because otherwise their offense is not going to be able to keep up with the Indiana offense.
No.
But like we were talking about the other day, this Indiana team is built from the trenches. The defensive line allows the secondary to play more coverage and get to jump more balls, which like the first interception of the game. And the offensive line just does not allow. I mean, we talked about it the other day, Brendan. There was a stat I saw about the amount of times that my Alabama blitzed and how Fernando Mendoza was handling the blitz. Well, there might have been a blitz, but there wasn't much pressure. And that's a
Correct.
kudos to the offensive line. And that's
Yeah.
going to be another situation, I think, next week where this team is just hot. And it's hard to play a hot team. And don't get me wrong, Miami is
Yeah.
also hot. But Miami's offense is not as hot as the Hoosiers. And I think that's where they're
Yes.
going to run into a tough spot. And also, let's think about it. What defenses has Miami played up to this point that have been really outstanding in the postseason? Ole Miss's off defense isn't spectacular. They're not close to the Hoosiers. Who was it before that?
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Ohio
That's the only
State.
one.
Okay, Ohio
Yeah.
State was a good defense, but that game, I mean, they won with their defense. I mean, that turnover whenever they got the fumble
six.
return, pick six. So definitely riding with you guys. What is it, Brendan? Call me out. Is it you?
Yep. Oh, you got it,
There
Jay.
you
You
go.
got it down,
There you
brother.
go.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. I
Man.
mean, it's
Can't even
simple,
fit it into
baby.
the camera. I got
It's
too
simple.
wide of arms.
I know. Here, I'll go full blast on you. I'll
Okay,
pull
here we
full
go. Here we
screen.
go.
Yeah, here we go.
Everybody know. Here we go.
Oh, there we go. Our
Hell
lucky fin,
yeah.
baby. Hell
There you
yeah.
go. So
I
we're
love
here.
To see it. I love to see it. Love to see it. No, I 100% you're right, Jason. You're right. But I gotta come back to you. I gotta give you your flowers. Let's back up a little bit. I didn't mean go completely into the game yet. But what made you think Miami would get to this point? Because you've been high on them.
Yes, it was the defense. And also early in the season, I mean, I remember we did our own rankings. I had Miami number one. Even with the losses, they lost 2 games that they probably should have won. But against their high competition, they played really well. They won those games. They faced adversity, and they came into they snuck into the playoff, if we're being honest. And what I really liked, though, was the edge rushers. The edge rushers, for me, the defense was what was going to carry this team. I liked their path. I really didn't think that A&M was a very strong team from the get-go. And I liked the way Miami's defense really looked in that game. And going into the Ohio State game, I just felt something good about the way those guys were playing. And once they won that game, I was hot with them. That was it for the next one for Ole Miss. So at some point, we had discussed it. Ole Miss's power was going to run out. The craziness. So
yeah, I mean, they're Superman. Well, Trinidad was going to win that game or lose it,
and he won it. He tried to
he
win
did.
it, and then
that's what I
get the
mean.
stop.
Like we knew it was going to be Chambliss like last second, and unfortunately, he just didn't have enough time in the game to win it. Like that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. You know, when you totally base your game plan off one guy, it's hard to not have any errors on one side of the ball. So, this Miami team is different. And I've been giving Jason so much crap about it. So much crap in our group chat, firing me up. And I
fired back. So
I know you did. It's given me a newfound respect for the U in a way, I guess you could say. But if you guys remember, I mean, I was pretty high when they were ranked, obviously number 1, I believe, and Miami was 2, Ohio State was 1. I did say that Miami would be in the national championship. I also said Ohio State, I believe. I was obviously wrong about that one. But, I mean, Miami, the way they looked, middle of the season, early in the season, they looked solid, right? And then they kind of, like you said, Jay, they go and lose those games where we're like, okay, maybe they're not that legit. And like you said, they sneak in, and now their defense is on another level. Malachi Tony's catching passes one-handed, in midair, doing some acrobatic things. I mean, he didn't end up catching it, but he still caught it. But it was just the stuff that guy's doing is on another level. The issue that I run into with this Miami team, like you said, Jason, is the offense. Carson Beck is not Fernando Mendoza. Sorry, he's not. I have been given so much hate against Carson Beck, so I'm not going to go down that train anymore. But he's just not Fernando Mendoza, and he's not. I don't think Miami's offense has seen a defensive scheme like the Haynes scheme that he can move around and show you different packages. And I just think this defense is going to be able to get after Carson Beck. And I'm hoping that Pons, little 5'9", 175, D'Angelo Pons can do his thing against Tony, because I think that's going to be a heck of a matchup. Tony is not much taller than Pons, so I actually have a lot more faith in Pons in this matchup, because that's the only thing that Pons
He won't be
gives up.
matched up on him at all, though.
You don't?
No, Tony's a slot guy, and Pons is going to play the weak side boundary the entire game, so they won't see each other much. But
who will be on him most of the game?
we don't play man, so
I know we play zone.
Yeah.
Interesting. That'll be interesting then against our zone. But I don't. What I'm getting to is I don't know if Carson Beck at the end of the day will have enough plays to score enough points to beat this Indiana defense. I don't see it happening with Haynes at the helm and Shanahan doing his thing offensively. I see the Hoosiers winning. I mean, we'll go into score predictions later, but I see the Hoosiers winning. I think it's going to be, I think they'll cover. I think 8.5 is the right number. I believe that's what it's at right now.
There was when I saw it last.
Yeah, it opened at 5.5. I think that's the right number. I do think I see the Hoosiers winning 10-14. If Carson Beck and co cannot move the ball in the beginning and Indiana goes up early, I think it could get really ugly. I think Indiana has proven once they get a lead, they don't really blow it. They've only blown leads, I believe, and it's not really blown, but they lost leads to Iowa and Penn State were the two games that I vividly remember on top of my head right now that they struggled and lost. And then there's only 3 games the entire season, Jason and David, that Indiana has given up 20 or more points. What games were those, do you think?
Penn
3
State.
games that we gave up 20 or more?
Yeah.
Penn State.
Iowa. No.
Iowa.
No, Iowa's 13. Oregon. Yeah. Penn State, Oregon. Yep.
And that's why I think Indiana will win this game, is that they're going to be able to control this offense of Miami's.
Okay, I have a question for you guys before we get into the actual game itself.
Okay.
How much do we think home field advantage plays in here into the overall game? And more so, they're not going to have a home crowd necessarily.
Do we know that?
Let's just assume it's 50-50 because the teams get the same allotment of tickets. Let's assume it's 50-50 rather than a home game in September. It should be 90-10 for the home team. How much do we think that plays in the fact that they get to sleep in their own beds the night before? They're probably not. They're probably can still stay at a hotel, but they're in more comfortable. They don't have to travel. How much do we think that plays in?
I don't think at this point it makes much of a difference. And the main reason for me is crowd-wise. We see it all the time in these championship games. A lot of times it's not as many fans. It's more people that just have the money that want to show off and say I was there. So I don't think crowd noise is maybe going to be an advantage. I do see what you mean about sleeping, it being a comfortable place for them, but I don't really see a big change. I mean, this Indiana team was just in Atlanta. It's not really far, same time zone. So are the Hoosiers in the Eastern time zone in general as well?
Yeah.
So they're both in the same time zone. I don't really see it being much of a big difference. But I do see where you're coming from about how that could be.
Yeah, I'm with Jason. I don't think it's really going to be that big of a difference this late. And actually, a lot of Indiana players there's several Indiana players, and a lot of Indiana players that are from the Miami area that I've recently learned. So I really don't see it being an issue, honestly, with the environments Indiana's played in as well.
Yeah, I'm with you guys totally. I don't think it's an issue. It's not like they traveled out to Oregon, and we can all agree Oregon's a top 5 to 10 team in the country, and they won out there.
Yeah.
Here, it's still going to be 50-50. Another key thing is because Miami's the lower seeded team, they actually have to use the visitors' locker room, so they do not get that comfort, which is that's
That
an
is
interesting
very
wrinkle.
interesting. That is a very
Yeah.
interesting wrinkle, especially when it's your home field. Ah,
Right.
that's really interesting. Oh,
Do they actually
shoot.
play their home games at Hard Rock?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah. RIP Orange Bowl. No longer there. RIP. Great games being held there.
Isn't Miami? Isn't Miami technically in Coral Gables too? They're not in Miami, right?
The university is in Coral Gables, and the stadium also is not in Miami. It's in Miami Gardens, which is not
that a
really in
different-
Miami at all. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
is that
not
a
on the
completely
beach.
different like town or something?
Yep.
And
I did not know that.
if you
Been
don't
out on its
remember,
own.
Kenny was, I believe, saying how far the Miami stadium was from the university. It is a 30-minute drive. You cannot walk, let alone how far is it? Like, I mean, several miles, right, Kenny? But I mean, it's still it shouldn't take that long to get that far, and it's Miami, so Miami traffic is terrible.
Could this mean that more people from there would stray away from even going to the game because they know how bad that kind of stuff is? Like they're like, I'm not even worried about getting down there. Like I don't even want to mess with that.
That is a great point, and that is a point that I wanted to bring up. Was Indiana is one of the largest alumni base, and Miami is one of the smallest alumni base. So I think that's going to play into
Miami, sneaky private school.
Are they really?
It's a private school, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It is a right now it is a 31-minute drive from Coral Gables all the way up north to near Hollywood, Miami. It's a drive.
Coral Gables is more south than Miami?
Yeah.
I guess I'm just not caught up with Miami geography or South Florida geography.
Guys, y'all are going to
look
see
this
a
up.
lot of celebrities at this game. I think IU is going to. It'll be another packed stadium.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Wait, where is Coral Gables? I don't even see it.
It's like southwest of the Miami Beach.
Behind the airport.
Oh, I
south of the
see it.
airport.
I see it.
Miami International.
Oh my gosh. It's like its own little town.
Florida's an interesting place for like roads and
I always thought Miami Gardens. I always thought Miami Gardens was a nickname for the area that the stadium is at.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Well, do we want to give our breakdown and our scores real quick? Then we'll talk a little bit about the portal. You want to lead us off, Jason?
Sure. Yeah, I got Indiana 31, Miami 17.
Okay.
Honestly, 17 might be generous. No offense.
Yeah, go into that a little bit.
I say it might be generous just because, that's saying Miami's offense is going to score 2 touchdowns on the Hoosiers defense. And I just, I don't know. The only thing that could happen for them would be I'm guessing maybe a turnover they can turn into easy points, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go 31-17 because that's a normal football score.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point. I have the Indiana Hoosiers. I've been saying 30-point games, and that's usually what Indiana scores lately in the playoffs. So I will go 35-10. I believe the Hoosiers will win. I think the Hoosiers will be able to contain the offensive threats that Miami has. I believe in Haynes so much in this defense. And, as we've talked about before, David, we only have 60 minutes of this team left to watch. And it's sad and it's pure entertainment, though. And what this team has been able to do from the first game against Old Dominion, letting, an 82-yard run touchdown run from
75.
Dixon.
First
Yeah.
play of the game. Think about the difference between that first play of the season versus first play of the game in the first game of the season versus the first play of the game in this Oregon game.
I mean, they get better every game, and it's been fun to watch. And, from winning the Big Ten to killing Alabama in the Rose Bowl to beating Oregon again in the Peach Bowl. We couldn't beat a good team twice, couldn't beat a team from the SEC. Oh, we can't slay Goliath, against Ohio State. This team continues to show up. Charlie Becker has mitts. He doesn't drop anything that is thrown to him. Can throw it above him, around him. He's going to catch it. He's going to find a way. Elijah Surratt's going to break your ankles and just, catch it and run down your throat. If you want to stop the pass, that's fine. We got Kalen Black. Hemby's going to just bang with you. Whatever you want this team to win, they just find ways, and it's been beautiful to watch. Got Heisman Trophy as well, of course, from Mendoza. I mean, I could go forever, and I agree with you, David, when we were talking. It's sad that this chapter has come to an end, but the only way this chapter can end is Indiana's first national championship, something we never thought was even possible. Even when I hung out with Jason when we were roommates, I said it will probably never happen. I was happy with 7 wins. Told him just make a bowl game.
I remember when we went up to Indianapolis for your bachelor trip, and David, we were on our way from the airport, and I remember David saying something about the team's going to be good next year, and you were like, "Are we though?" like, what are we going to look like? And now it's now you're at the point where you're going to be expecting it, which is always a fun time.
Yes, absolutely. And, it's crazy to even say this. I wouldn't even be expecting it. I still have scars from winning 2 games. So it's just I don't have any expectations ever with Indiana football, the good or the bad. And it's been incredible what this team's to do. But I have been saying for several weeks now and months, if Indiana's ever going to win a national championship, it's this team with the growth and the knowledge and the coaching staff. It's just a 3-headed monster with Sig, Shanahan, and Haynes at the helm. And we got players who love football and want to win. And it's fun to watch. Go Hoosiers. Could talk forever. David, let's go. What's your score?
So I think this game is going to play out a little bit closer than you guys. And part of that might just be me being a Hoosier fan and not having these expectations. I don't usually go into games thinking we're going to beat down on a team, unless it's against Purdue, of course. But I think Carson Beck is going to be relatively successful early on. And the reason I say that is they do have a decent run game. Mark Fletcher has been really good. Their backups have been solid throughout the playoff. They also do a lot of short passes, screen passes, which, as we know, that's the best way to combat a good pass rush. And our pass rush isn't the whole thing with this team, but it is a big thing that these guys are able to get pressure, and it makes the quarterback scared for the rest of the game. You saw that with Dante Moore. Once he started getting hit a couple times or even just feeling the pressure, he kind of turtled a little bit and, became a shell of himself. Same thing happened with Julian Sain. So I think that they're going to have a little bit of success early. In the 2 games against the best 2 defenses they've played this year, though, Miami, Carson Beck had 103 yards against Texas A&M. Part of that was wind. Part of that was game management. They weren't really trying to throw it down the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had 138 yards against Ohio State. Again, part of that is wind, or not wind. Part of that is game management because they had that pick 6 early on. They took a 14-0 lead, and they didn't really have to rely on him much. I think the key here is if Miami gets down early, they have not played from behind. Other than that last drive against Ole Miss, they have not played from behind for a large portion of a game in a while. They were tied with A&M most of that game. They were ahead of Ohio State from early on. And they really did dominate that Ole Miss game. They probably should have won by 2 scores. They dropped a couple picks they should have had. It's going to be interesting to see how Carson Beck throws against this defense if we do take an early lead, and also how Cristobal coaches, because one of the big things that has stuck with Cristobal his entire career is he's not a very good in-game coach. And so if we take an early lead, I feel pretty good about how things play out. I do have the final score, though, as 28-20. I think this is going to be a hard-fought, back-and-forth game. It takes a lot to get to the national championship game. And a month ago, we would have said Indiana against Miami. Even before we saw these last two performances by Indiana, we would have said Indiana kills Miami. We thought Texas A&M was going to beat Miami. We thought Ohio State was going to beat Miami. Ole Miss was a little bit more of a toss-up. But Miami has kept showing up, and they found ways to win games. And it does take a special team to win games in these situations, and they've done it. So I think they're going to come out ready to play, but I think ultimately we're just overall better, and we're going to make fewer mistakes than Miami is. So I like us by about a touchdown.
Touchdown, baby. A touchdown. Let's go. Let's go, Hoosiers. If Jason and David, if Indiana were to lose this game, how do the Hoosiers lose it?
Miami's pass rush gets to Mendoza is going to be my thing. I think that would cause him some pressure. Maybe he throws a pick six. Maybe he throws a couple picks. Maybe they get a strip sack. I think it'll be the defense coming up with some big plays on the pass rush.
Good point.
I agree with that. I also think if Miami could control the ball like they did against Ole Miss, they had like 43 minutes of time of possession or something like that. Our defense, the Indiana defense, hasn't really had a bunch of extended drives because they usually get off the field pretty quickly. And when teams do have extended drives, you saw it early in the Oregon game, that second drive they had right after the pick. When teams get extended drives, we don't really play many backups, so we're not subbing in and out a whole lot. We really play 13 players on defense, so the players are gonna wear down a little bit. So if they can keep sustained drives with that short passes, run game, if they're just picking up 3 or 4 yards per play and tiring out that defense, I could see Miami possessing the ball and pulling off the upset.
Yeah, no, I'm with both of your guys' points. I do think if you heat up Mendoza, it's been proven that he struggles. He does struggle when he doesn't have a super clean pocket. You saw it against Penn State. You saw it against Iowa. I really do think we should have lost both of those games. Somehow we pulled out that Iowa one because their quarterback went down and they had to put their backup in. Penn State, we get sacked and go on a hell of a run to come back and somehow win that game. Arguably one of the best catches of all time. If you heat up Mendoza, it could put a lot of pressure on this Indiana offense early, and it's been shown when Mendoza throws a pick, David, at some of the worst times, Indiana has winning odds has decreased a lot. And Iowa's a perfect example of that. We were a different team back then. I will say that. I'm a strong believer in that. We are in a different gear right now than we were against Iowa and Penn State. But if Indiana were to lose, you got to force a turnover against us. And Indiana does not turn the ball over.
I totally agree. I think one thing that Mendoza has done a great job of, and I agree we're a different team now than we were against Iowa, than we were against Oregon earlier in the season, is when he does take a sack or a couple sacks, he adjusts. The offense adjusts, and they don't put him in those situations again, or he finds a way out of the pressure, and he scrambles for first downs. We saw that a lot in both the Alabama, and he did it early on in the Oregon game too. I think he's done a really good job of adjusting when he does see those pressures to be able to get out of it. And so I trust that he's going to be able to do that. But obviously, if they can get to him 3, 4, 5 times, then it's going to be hard to move the ball.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, Jason and David, something that's been brought up in the media is how small Indiana's D-line is.
We're not doing this.
And how big Miami's offensive line is. Do you guys think that plays into a little bit of that, or do you guys think speed kills? Like size doesn't.
You know
matter
who
anymore?
else's offensive lines are massive? Oregon. Ohio State. We were able to heat
any
up
school
both
with
of
a lot of
those.
blue chips.
Exactly. All these guys are rated 4 and 5 stars a lot of it is because they have so much potential because they're so big.
Size,
Yeah.
yeah.
That doesn't scare me at all. Be big. I don't care.
Mentality.
Be big, he says. Yeah, mentality. All about the mental work. Go Hoosiers. Get the first natty. We're all rooting for you. Bring it home. Leave it in Bloomington. Never gonna leave. Cemented in history. Take one of the fishes. We'll talk about that later, Jason and Kenny. But there's a story about the fishes.
Fish are gone, man.
I know. Fish
They
are
took 'em
gone.
out.
Took them out. So when last national championship for basketball, for Indiana basketball, when they won, someone took the, you can go into it, David. You know more about the history behind that story than I do.
Yeah, there's a fountain on campus, and it's right in the center of campus. Couldn't miss it if you're there. And it's some like Greek goddess and like six
Yeah.
fish,
Yeah.
six fish statues like made out of
Yeah.
like copper. They're like metal.
Mhm.
Someone stole one after the 1987 championship game.
Yeah.
Has never been found.
No.
Since. Nobody knows where it went. They've tried to look for it, can't find it. So the legend was always that if we won another
Indiana.
national championship, someone would return it. Well,
Yep.
they actually just took all the fish out of the fountain this week because they're worried about
Yeah.
people stealing more fish.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They took them all out.
That's funny.
Funny little nugget. I had to bring it up real quick. Jason, talk about I know you don't like to go too much into the portal a little bit. You like to see some gameplay first. I know you're a man of the tape, but are we excited in Tigerland country for Mr. Sam Levitt?
Yeah, I think we are. I think it's really exciting to not only get Sam Levitt, but also get two other quarterbacks that can grow behind him as
Agreed.
potential future starters. Both of them, one of them's a former 5-star. Looks like he has some wheels on him on some highlights that I saw. Obviously, some of the games I saw him play against were not against strong opponents, so we'll see. But I believe Lane Kiffin has the ability to develop quarterbacks. That's what he's known for. I think this is the fun part where the fun begins, right? We were talking about the portal. Like you said, we had one of the top portal classes last year. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
This year we again have the number one portal class. We'll see how it works out. But I think one of the things I saw today that made me excited is Lane Kiffin has kind of what do you call it? Trimmed the weeds on the guys who he doesn't really fit the way he likes the game to be played, and maybe some guys he thought were poorly scouted from the previous regime. And then he's brought in a lot of guys that he believes in, and I think they've gotten 8 receivers. And you're looking at that like, why do you have 8 receivers? Well, college is a big depth game when it comes to skill positions. You can never have too many. There's guys who play a lot of special teams. And so very excited for Sam. I think Sam's dealing with that injury still a little bit. So curious how that's going to go. But I think LSU's facilities and everything are going to have him really, really well off for rehab and everything like that. And also Kiffin's going to have him working on his mental game before he's working on the physical game. So really excited. And I don't like to get too excited about things like this. So if I'm excited, there's something to it. So we'll see what happens. They also got Caden Durham to come back. So now you got Durham and Barry coming back. You got a couple. Also, here's another thing to note. Most of the guys that Kiffin's getting in the portal are young, true freshman guys that are coming in. Now, that's not to say they stay very long because they could all jump in the portal next year too. But it's important to note that a lot of these guys are young because they either are going to believe in the system and stay and develop and grow, or they're going to end up leaving next year and new guys are going to come in. But I like getting the younger guys and not just immediately going after a lot of seniors next year, juniors. It's really fun time.
I think a lot of people, to chime off that, I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Elon QB transfer. I've watched some film on that guy, and I think he's young. He's only played one season, and I believe he's a redshirt freshman or a sophomore. And then had a couple others. Obviously, the one from Kentucky, played 3 games, but obviously a hot grab as well. And so, I'm excited for you guys because when LSU football is good, college football is fun. when and LSU is one of those elite programs. And so when LSU is doing very well, it's fun to watch. And the 2019 LSU football team is the greatest of all time. We'll stop it there. We'll stop it there.
Kenny had brought up something good in the chat. Kenny,
Yeah.
you want to come in and talk about that a little bit, about the offensive line?
Yeah, all of this and everything you said, I completely agree with. I think that just watching how Indiana has built the program, you noticed how it's built off of young players. And the issue right now with LSU is we're getting all these guys, we're getting all these good wide receivers and all this young talent. We really do not have an offensive line right now. And that's a huge buildup right now. The last time I checked, like Brendan said, we got a guy from Kentucky, only played a couple games. But they said that he is a huge pickup for LSU, and that's my only thing. That's my only thing with LSU right now is that offensive line. I don't, and hopefully LSU fans, you know how we are. We should not be expecting a national championship, and I don't even think, not even a, because you're gonna need to build. We got to build a program. Like you said, he is cutting people out that I thought there were guys that should have been gone a long time ago, and those guys were not cut out of the program. And hopefully Lane's going to do that. So,
Kenny, how many portal offensive linemen do the Tigers have right now, besides the guy from Kentucky?
let me check on that because I think the last time I saw was only 2, and one of them was the guy from Kentucky. So let me double check on that.
While you're looking at that, I think they also got 1 or 2 of the guys to return that were originally in the portal. So that's also a good grab. I think it's always interesting when you see guys jump in the portal and then everybody's like, "Oh, why are they leaving?" A lot of times it's, "Hey, they're going to jump in the portal so they can get some more money." Like
That's
what they're doing nowadays. That's what a lot of guys are doing.
I mean,
So,
I would do it too if I was a college player.
If
Like
you had the
it's
opportunity,
smart. You can come back. It's not like a, it's testing the waters is what I want to say. It is. It's exactly right.
yeah.
So the guy from Kentucky is Darren Stray. He only played a couple games, and I could not figure out what position wise. He's 26, and he's a 3-star transfer.
He's
transfer
26 years old.
No, position.
26
His
or
position
over.
rank.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's 6'6".
You're good.
I mean,
I knew
look, if
You're good.
Hey, look,
you never
EJ
know.
Finley's still around. Like
I know, and so
We
is
got,
your boy Max Johnson.
I don't know about that. We got this. This is a great name. Let's save this one. He is from what school is that? It's a bird, but his name was Jaquan Sprinkle.
Guess what school?
He's from
Max-
NC Central.
NC Central.
Wow.
Yes,
wow. Okay.
it is. And
without
Okay.
looking
that's
it up,
about it
Jason
right
and
now.
Kenny, look
What?
up where Max Johnson is playing college, where he committed to. I want you guys to guess where he committed to.
God.
He was at. Was he
wait.
at North Carolina still, or was he at somewhere
Correct.
else?
He was at North Carolina. He went in the portal and committed somewhere else. Where do you think he went?
Can you give me the
Sanford.
conference?
Is it even D1?
It's
Is it-
D1.
Yeah, give me the
let
conference.
see.
Oh, if he's struggling to find the conference, it's
He's in
gotta
the-
be a
he's in the
smaller
Fun Belt.
major.
Yeah.
He's in the Fun Belt. Oh,
Is he at ULL?
Georgia State,
Georgia.
Georgia Southern.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah.
Clay
Georgia
Helton.
Southern.
How is
Yeah.
he
Play for
still
Clay
in
Helton.
college?
Oh man, Clay Helton. Wasn't Clay Helton that he was a Power 5 coach, wasn't he?
He was at USC.
Oh, that's right. I remember that name.
Some big names real quick in the portal to get into that. Wrap up the portal talk. Dylan Raiola to Oregon, sitting behind Moore. Moore came back for his senior year. Smart move. Didn't want to go to the Jets. Maybe. I don't know. But he decided to come back probably for the money a little bit, I think. And I think there was a lot of things that he needed to work on, and he realized it. So he decided to come back, work on that progression. And, of course, Lagway to Baylor. Said goodbye to Florida. In the
Dude,
Big
that
12
fit-
country.
That fit is strange.
It's very strange. Very strange. I'm
Who knows?
interested
Maybe
to
it'll work.
see. Maybe it'll work. For our Indiana Hoosiers, we had Josh Hoover from TCU. So excited to see the gunslinger get coached up in the Shanahan offense. And, hopefully learn a few things from Mendoza. Doesn't have to play the superhero anymore, and let the offensive work. So, and he doesn't have to sling it all the time. But excited to see what he brings to the Hoosier offense. And obviously Nick Marsh, wide receiver from Michigan State, committed to Indiana as well. Indiana's doing very good in the portal, David. I forget most of the players. I know we have a former Leo Indiana tight end, Miami, transferred in to
260 stand up.
Lean into those commits real quick if you have it pulled up. I don't know if you have it pulled up.
I do have it pulled up, but now I'm blocked by ad blocker.
Oh, come on. You got an ad blocker at your own house?
I have ad blocker, and it's blocking me from viewing the site because of the ad blocker. What a disaster, man.
That is a disaster.
All right. I think I figured it out.
All right.
I mean, Indiana doesn't. They're doing good for what they want to do.
Yeah.
They're not getting these big names because that's not what this coaching staff is going for. They're going for guys that are going to fit the system and guys who have produced. That is Sig's big thing that a lot of other schools, if you get hired at Alabama or LSU, and this isn't a shot at Kiffin, but you got to go out and you got to get names because that's what the fan base expects.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas at Indiana, the fan base doesn't expect shit. So you just go get guys and you put all your trust in the coach. And if it works, it works, which is what we've done thus far. So, the names aren't big, but the production's there. And you just hope that the production can carry over when it comes to Indiana.
Yes, totally agree. Real quick, Jason and David, does Trinidad come back for his final year? Does he end up winning against the NCAA to play another year at Trinidad Chambliss?
I don't think so. I think he's going to be a second round, third round pick. Somebody's going to go snag him. I think he should go.
The quarterback draft class this year is so
it's atrocious.
Weak. He's going to get a shot.
Yeah. I was surprised Dante Moore didn't leave just because because don't get me wrong, like the guy's not bad, but before the start of the season, I didn't even hear much about him. Like this is your opportunity to go to be a top 5 pick, my man.
He would have been the number 2 quarterback off the board, and
Yes.
he could have still challenged for number 1, depending on what a team values. If they value him over Mendoza,
very interesting.
Do you think his game against Indiana kind of just did not give a good show, and that's probably why he might have freaked out? Or
I didn't really see his draft stock changing much. The teams are going to believe in whatever they believe at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the draft stock would have changed much, and I think a lot of that is because the quarterback class is so weak, and teams are always going to reach for a quarterback just because of it's a position that you need. But he was not good against high caliber defenses this year. So if he can come back, the problem is if he can come back and have a great year and show that he's improved, his draft stock's going to get better. But we thought that with Drew Aller. We thought that with Garrett Nussmeier. It's no guarantee. So I think if you're a guy like that, you got to enter the draft and go start your pro career.
Also, how much more can you actually increase your draft stock from 2?
You were already going to be a top 5 pick, the number 2 quarterback.
I just don't get it.
I don't really get it either.
That was the first thing I thought of was Aller and Nussmeier.
Mm-hmm.
If both of them had came out last year, top first and second round pick probably. Maybe not shouldn't be, but first and second round pick based off of draft projections. This guy could literally fall off the face of the earth and be a 6th round pick next year. He could be Quinn Ewers or Nussmeier and Aller this year.
I don't know where Nussmeier is.
Especially with Raiola.
I don't know where they're going to get drafted.
Raiola could take over mid-season if Dante Moore's not.
Yeah, he will.
It could happen.
He will. Too much experience. He will.
Yeah, it's. I don't really get it, but
you think he does, Kenny?
It might work out.
Moore gets benched.
Oh, 100%.
I think it's going to be a situation of Nussmeier at LSU. I just think no matter how bad he does, they're going to let him play
because they put too much money into him.
Yeah, because and he came
whatever
back. Like
chicken place in Oregon has, all that Cane's money is all involved.
No, they got that Nike money. Come on now.
Yeah.
look.
Come on now, they got the Nike model.
Look, it's just going to be like college basketball. They're going to go play in the Canadian Football League, and they're going to come back and play college football because its eligibility is still open.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that. No,
Can't-
Dante Moore is
can't
going to be a
have that.
senior. No, not going to happen.
Me and David will get into that for college basketball next week.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about that yet.
I know. If you guys want more content like this, please like, comment, subscribe. It would mean the world to us on YouTube, 5 Arms and a Lucky Fin, 5LF Podcast for Instagram, TikTok, and X. We appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Give us a follow. We'll see you in the next one. Peace. Go Hoosiers.
The 5 Arms and a Lucky